Hey y'all, happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. Hope you all having a great day. I myself having a good day, and y'all see the thumbnail. It is the trial updates, and we're just gonna get into it. I'm not gonna hold y'all too long. I know I have not been on the read alongs lately of giving you the rest of the updates. However, if you still want me to read the rest of the trial up to the point of the verdict, let me know in the comment section down below or hit me up on my socials. You see it down below on the this thing right there that's going flowing across the screen. You will see it, the socials there. Or hit me up on Discord and let me know, because I can still do so after I finish the Love Island. Right now, Love Island has been taking control of a lot of things. Is right now it's everyday episode, taking notes, do reviews on it. So that's just taking time, and then I got to move beyond the villa. So that right now is priority than the trial, everything. But I want to come in here and give you the update of what was the verdict, read the letters, and I know the bail hearing is at 5 p.m., but I won't be able to get to it. So I'll probably give you a pre-recorded review of the bail hearing or a little quick update on the bail hearing in a separate video. If it comes through when I'm doing my live and it's quick and easy, then I can give you it. But listen, y'all, how do y'all feel? Because I know a lot of people was in this tug of war thinking that, oh, he's innocent and he's not guilty, none of this, and some people say guilty and whatnot. Me, I was on the hand see how this plays out, but I do feel like a lot of his stuff that he was doing, I cannot excuse it. I can't. So I feel like, hey y'all, what's up? Shine bright like a diamond. You're beautiful like diamond in the sky. I cannot excuse his behavior, because I feel like even though the jurors voted how they voted, it doesn't mean I agree with the decision. Now keep in mind, now everybody act like he's just a free. He's not completely free. He will still be going to jail for some time. Now how long the judge gonna give him, it depends on the judge now. However, the lot of the serious one that the prosecution was charging him for is the one that he didn't get guilty of. So there's that. And I'm going to read the trial updates, read the letters that the judges, that the defense lawyers and the prosecution gave about the bail. And then the bail hearing will be happening at 5 o'clock. And that's that. And whatever. So if y'all watch this, whatever side you on, please be respectful for each other. And let's just go from that. Because at the end of the day, and I'll give my thoughts too after I read everything. I will give my final thoughts of how I feel about the overall trial, how I feel about the thing, how I feel about the jury selections and whatnot, because that plays a big role in the decision that's being made. It played a big role. And you feel like the prosecution did their job or not, it is what it is. The verdict made, the jury made their choice. I may not agree with it, but it is what it is. And to me personally, I feel like the prosecution built a slowly case, and it was building up closely, and then they had a witnesses that was pinpointing the charges and what was going and how this happened, and testimony that people was traveling across state lines and whatnot, and company counsel was being used. But in the whole grand scheme of things, they did not find it that it was mostly racketeering. It wasn't an organization crime. It was one person leading the charge and whatnot, even though he had different people doing what he's doing. But I'm letting you know now, if you continue doing his free courses like that, he better stop. He better. Especially if he get on bail or on bond. If he gets out. I tell you that now. He better stop doing what he's doing. Even though he go get some time served. How long? We'll find out. He could face up to maximum of 20 years in prison. Will he get the full max? We'll see. However, let's get into it. So I won't hold y'all to it because I do have Love Island review right after this at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're coming in, please watch my Love Island review and join that. This was a quick impromptu live, so maybe a lot of y'all may not get to see it till afterwards, which is fine. Replay game, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you are new. I'm trying to, my goal is to get 10 more subscribers. I'm trying to build it gradually, getting more subscribers. I got to 1,360 and I could think I could get 10 more. So if y'all new, y'all enjoy my content, not just only this, but my Love Island content. And I will be resuming the Real Housewives of Atlanta and, Beyond the Villa and any other shows in the future. Please subscribe to my button. I appreciate everybody else who have been subscribed to my channel and coming through and becoming part of my Mizzies. Becoming part of my Mizzies. That's my name of my subscribers called Mizzies family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Enjoy. All right. So let's get into this. I'm sorry, the Wi-Fi signal is acting up, but hey, it is what it is. I think I can still listen to me. I can still hear me. 9:15 a.m. Sean Combs is in a courtroom talking with his lead lawyer, Agnifilio, also in the well. Shapiro, Westmoreland, Driscoll, Steele, prosecution's nowhere to be seen. 9:30 a.m. Now Sean Combs is talking with his lawyers, Nicole Westmoreland, while four of this lawyers huddled to the side. Combs stands up, asks the marshals, is he allowed to speak to his family, seated in the front row, now back into the holding cell. 9:54 a.m. The only person at the three lawyers' table in the courtroom is Combs' lead counsel, Mark Agnifilio, purple ties, working his cell phone with two thumbs. Combs' family has cleared out the room of the gallery for now. 10:01 a.m. There is movement in the courtroom. Combs' other lawyers have returned. There is word of the jury note. Nothing confirmed yet. 10:03 a.m. Words given. There's a verdict in U.S. versus Combs. Will continue live tweeting below. 10:06 a.m. The prosecution have filled the seats at the front table. Sean Combs has still not been brought back in the courtroom from the holding cell. 10:10 a.m. Sean Combs had been brought back into the courtroom by U.S. Marshals. He is seated with Brown Steele on his left, Lieutenant Jericho's on his right. His family is second row of the gallery. Judge Subramanian, we have reached a note at 9:52 a.m. It reads, we have reached a verdict on all counts. Anything to address before we bring our jury out? No. Both sides says no. It has been. It has been crazy. And prayers up to all the victims and everything, because at the end of the day, they're all victims. Whether you want to splice it or not, they are all victims. And he was a celebrity, he had power, he had fame, and this is the result that came from it. It doesn't matter. I feel how I feel about it. I feel like if you go find him guilty for prostitution, I don't understand how you couldn't find him guilty for sex trafficking. If you didn't find him about racketeering, but at least sex trafficking. I understand that because that was showcased as evidence. However, I'm not part of the jury, and I do have a lot of my fishiness about the jury selection anyway and the makeup. But we'll talk about that after I get through all this. But I feel like prayers up to everybody. Hope y'all can move past that and whatnot. Hope you move past that and please be respectful. I know a lot of people was on the side. Oh, he's free. I'm not celebrating nothing. It's nothing to be celebrating. Because this guy was foul. Nothing to be celebrating. But I could be fair when it comes to the verdict and what's being read, what's being said, and I can just say whatever. We can move past this and move off from that and what could happen moving forward. That is the confusing part, because I don't understand how you find the one guilty of one but not tied to the other one. Even if you don't feel like they were fully, I think feel like at times they was coerced. Because if that's the case, it will not be no beating or blackmailing or threatening them or all this extra stuff that happened if you feel like it was not coercion. So all that was okay. I'll say, all right. If y'all think the jury think that was okay, it is what it is. At times, like I said, yes, at times they was one of the participants, but they were most of the time they was not. So that was messed up. You okay for you think it was prostitution, but it's, hey, Color Boo, what's up? So I'm getting my final thoughts, and like I said, it is what it is. I could just go by what they saying, and I could discuss how I feel about this. I know a lot of people say, yeah, but at the end of the day, he's still going to get some time served. Not for the major ones that the prosecution was going for, but we'll see. How y'all feel? Do y'all think they did a good job and whatnot? Because I feel like the prosecution did showcase how sex trafficking was happening. Now, if you don't think it was racketeering, fine. I could say if y'all don't think so, because it was an organization, it was one man leading the charge. But the sex trafficking charges, that right there, I just don't understand. But let's continue reading the rest of this part. Um, Judge, I asked our deputy to bring back our jury. Sean Combs remains seated. His 8 lawyers are standing up. Judge, all rise. Combs stands up. Jurors enter. Judge, we have received your note. Juror number 5, have you reached a verdict? Juror 5, we have. Judge, is it unanimous? Juror 5, it is. Judge, please provide the verdict for the deputy. Judge, the deputy will inquire as to the verdict. Deputy, in the matter of U.S. versus Combs, count 1. Yes, the people need to be mad at the feds. Do y'all think they overcharged them? Do y'all think that they did wait too far in this and whatnot? Because when you read the rest of the trial, you know, they should have stayed on the topic. Appreciate that. Count 1, and I will read what the counts were. Count 1, jury not guilty. That was the racketeering charge. That's the one. That was the major charge they was going for. RICO racketeering. The racketeering charge was not guilty. Deputy sex trafficker Acassi Ventura, jury 5, not guilty. Transportation of prostitution, which was mostly Cassie, they found it guilty. So Deputy 5, Jane, sex trafficking, not guilty. But transportation for prostitution, Jane, not guilty. So if you say it's guilty for transportation for prostitution and engaging in sex, but you don't find that is sex trafficking, even though transportation for prostitution is illegal in a lot of states, that's what's confusing part right there. Yeah, I don't think they did, but he has dirt to get him heavier once gone. Yeah, I mean, he's like I said, he's celebrity, his most fame, and I feel like maybe the prosecution should have been little bit. I think they should really thought this out thoroughly and really nailed and really narrow it in, because the transportation for prostitution usually ties to sex trafficking, but I feel like the Jews don't feel like they was not coerced. They was not coerced. So they was willingly participants in traveling across state lines for prostitution. but it was not fraud or coercion or threats or whatever the thing was. So they found that. And let's continue on with the rest of that. Because I'm going to read the letters as well. Judge, ask the media not to question jurors about their deliberations. Jurors, you can contact our chambers. You gave up a lot these 10 weeks. It is inspiring. You work together, rain or shine, you answer the call of public service. That should give us hope. Judge, I need to address a few matters with the lawyers, then I will come back to you, meet with you. Jurors all rise to the jury. Jury's exit for the last time. Judge, I hear any applications, then about a sentencing date. Combs Agnefidio, he should be released. Combs Agnefidio, he is no longer charged with sex trafficking or racketeering. His plane has been chartered. It is in Maui. He does not have access to his plane. This is his first conviction and it's a prostitution offense. He should be released. Yeah, maybe they should have thought through this a little bit more in the aspect of the things. However, I also got to look at the jury too, because that tied in together. If you think about it, if you just say now get to racketeering, I could say that. I could say, okay, fine. But the prostitution and sex trafficking, those usually goes hand in hand. If you transporting me, you sex trafficking me. Now, whether the victims you found out is not perfect, because I know a lot of people don't understand the complexity of being victims of people who being sex trafficked or who being abused and threat and everything. They could sometimes not always act like, I'll go here quote unquote, let me show my hands. The perfect victims that people, hold on. The perfect victims, because people feel like it's a certain type of way you're supposed to move if you are being done this way. But I said, no, people, it's different ranges. It's very complex. However, it's what can be proven in court and what they have shown. And I feel like the juries feel like even if all these evidence did showcase it, it still was a coercion in their eyes. So this is the first conviction in his prostitution offense. He should be released. Combs Agnefidio, his family is here and should sign a bond. He should be released today to go back and live in Two Stars Island. Judge, this is coming up right now. I will hear from the government in a moment. Are you proposing that he just walk outside now? Yes. Judge, you propose $1 million bond? Combs Agnefidio, yes, and travel to Florida, New York, and LA. AUSA Comey, the U.S. opposes his release. A person found guilty shall be detained until the judicial officer finds he is no likely to flee or be a danger. AUSA Comey, the defendant faces maximum sentence of 20 years. Even while faced with this case, he assaulted Jane here in New York, preparing to surrender. He had drugs in his hotel room, was ready to commit the same offense. Judge, I'm not going to resolve this second. I need to review the statutes. Ms. Comey, do you have a case in which bail was denied after conviction under the Mann Act? You may confer and come back. We plan to be here the whole day. AUSA Comey, I am aware of cases involving minors, but we intend to raise relevant conduct as sentences, the drugs and violence. Judge, I like letters from each side. When? AUSA Comey, a few hours. Judge, I think that makes sense. Mr. Combs does not want to go back to the MDC. He is shaking his head. So 1 p.m. letters and we'll convene in the afternoon. I'll let the parties know when. Agnefidio, he will be fooled, which he is not, to violate any condition. Listen, you better talk to your lawyer. You better talk to your client, because even though he know he's still guilty for 2 charges, he don't know what the hell he might do. So you may want to talk to him and like, listen, don't do anything. You better not do no free calls. You better not even travel anywhere. You better do whatever I said to do. So it will jam you up. So you better put on your daddy pants on and tell Diddy, boy, we did this much. You better not F it up. All right? So let me read the letters to y'all, because I did got that point as well. I did save those. So let me read those as well. What are your thoughts? Oh my gosh. Thank you for y'all who coming through because I know it was just a impromptu. It was not planned. But when I woke up this morning, woke up this afternoon because I came home this morning, I saw that a vertical reach and I said, you know what? I'm not going to drag this out. I'm going to give y'all and just go straight to it and let's give it to it. All right. U.S. semester letter docu-signed by Deontay Nash released equal measures that wealth influence can shield someone indefinitely from accountability. It also endangers those who cooperated under subpoena who are already living in fear of retaliation. That's the point. I think I think that a lot of people feeling that because we know no he had no problems go too far and he has no problem going too far in dealing with people that crossed them. So I just hope that he had good enough sense and whatnot and not to do so. I just hope, please. It doesn't stop that either because he still has means of opportunity. That's the problem. He still has means of opportunity to do so. And I just wish that these people are being saved and whatnot because you like Cola, it does not stop. Because even though he could be behind bars, he could still have people who still lock for him and go after these people just for testifying under the act because they were subpoenaed. So they better do a good job of protecting these people. But also they need to realize, listen, you not above the law. So he better stop what he's doing and realize they gave you they gave you a chance. And how y'all feel about this is what I wanted to feel. I feel like the jury selection does make a difference. Because when I found out the jury was mostly 8 men and 4 women, I found that was lopsided. And I'm not saying that men doesn't understand, but most men does not understand the complexity of sex trafficking and prostitution and whatnot. Most of them don't. So when the fact that it was mostly on men and not women, and I'm not saying that you should pack it with all women. I should be even balanced. I feel like that kind of made a difference in the charges, in my opinion. Because at the end of the day, this was just a verdict. In my opinion, I feel like it did make a difference. Because when you essay someone or abuse someone, that person get changed. They are changed. And that may not be how you view that it should act, or be a docile, or be a submissive, or not talking back, not threatening others. Maybe sometimes wanting it even after they got essay. Because the chemical balance and the mental state in their mind is not a normal state of mindset. And whether how you feel about it, forget about Cassie, forget about Jane, and just forget about all that. Think about yourself or think about somebody you know that has been. They doesn't move in the, let me pull it close, in the way that we view that they should have moved. So when we had, let's say for example, when we had that audio that Cassie played, somebody, if you see it, you see this tape, I'm gonna come at you and stuff like that. That's probably for her to be violated. And then somebody could be watching, it could be viewed and everything. So I understand that somebody might retaliate in aggression instead of crying. So in the eyes of the public might not see that. People, the public might not see that and say, oh, see, listen, she ain't that. I say, understand. Yeah, maybe she's not perfect. However, how you feel when something, you may be trusting someone and they go about to release something from you that was supposed to be private. And they control. And you might have it beaten and then whatnot. And you just have fed up. My Mizzies, if a guy hits you, or you the type of person to not hit back, or you gonna say, oh, whatever. I was going to sit in the corner and cry. Some of y'all might say, no, you're going to be tugging around here. You're going to be tugging around here. Because you fight back, people feel like you are not a victim. If that's not the case, you still are, whether or not your actions is otherwise. Let's say if I like you straight lie or you're a habitual liar and you had this thing that you can get people straight to your side and none of this happened and you just straight lie to everyone, and that's a different story. So, and keep in mind, y'all, Cassie only testified because she was subpoenaed by the prosecution to testify. That was the start witness. And she came. Or whatever, or she came on her own free will and everybody else was subpoenaed and whatnot. She had her money and she was going to let it go. But prosecution about the state, the government sued him. I wish everybody would understand that. She got a civil case, they settled it, she moved on her life. But since the state, federal came after Diddy, they used her as a witness. But let me read this letter. But I just want people to think that and whatnot, and let me see how y'all thoughts. Because at the end of the day, victims is not perfect. However, but they still are. So when I said that the makeup of the jury, it makes it breaks the case. It makes a difference who you have in your jury selection, because a lot of men does not understand that, because they could give away a lot of these things, because usually who are victims of SA or violence or prostitution and anything are women. All women. Most men won't understand that. But in the court of law, they gave their verdict. So nothing you can do about it. Judge Severanian, I'm writing to express my grave concern over the prospect of Sean Combs being released from custody. While I appreciate the fairness you have shown throughout the proceeding, I feel compelled to be unequivocal about the danger it poses to the public and to the individuals who have risked everything by coming forward. Mr. Combs has a long, well-documented history of violent, coercive, and retaliatory behavior. Over the years, he has repeatedly escaped meaningful accountability, and each time this has only reinforced his sense of impunity. If he is released now, I have no doubt he will see it as yet another license to continue intimidating, threatening, and harming people who challenge or expose him. Many of us have first-hand knowledge of fear he instills in those around him. I could say without hesitation that he is a serious and immediate threat to victims, witnesses, and the broader community. His pattern of violence, particularly while engaged in the trafficking of individuals for prostitution, combined with unchecked substance abuse, makes it clear that he is not ready to re-enter the society safely and responsibly. The only bright side, him and Victor both, they butt should be getting out of here. But wait, right? To release Mr. Combs without substantial consequence will undermine the integrity of this process and send a dangerous message that wealth and influence can shield someone indefinitely from accountability. It also endangers those who cooperated with this investigation under subpoena, who are already living in fear of retaliation. I urge you in the strongest possible terms to prioritize the safety of the victims and witnesses over any consideration of leniency. Mr. Combs had countless opportunities to change, and he had chosen instead to escalate his harmful conduct. Allowing him back into the community now would have been a profound mistake. Thank you for your time and your commitment to protect the public from those who repeatedly demonstrate they are willing to respect the law. Respectfully, Deontay Nash. To be honest, I agree. Throughout the years, he has been increasing his intimidation of fear and threatening to people. He has been, and it wasn't stopping. And the fact that he has been unchecked for so long, it makes it dangerous that his release so quick. So he released. However, let's see what the defense says, and maybe they have a compelling argument for him to get the bond, get bond necessarily. Let's see this. Judge Permanian, Mr. Combs moves for release on appropriate conditions pursuant to 18 U.S.C. Section 314(3)(a)(1) pending his sentencing proceeding. Giving the jury clear verdict acquitting Mr. Combs of the RICO conspiracy and sex trafficking counts, continuing to detain Mr. Combs is inappropriate. As these proceedings have demonstrated, and as we told the court from the outset of the case, Mr. Combs came to New York to surrender to order to defend against the government charges because he was committed to showing his innocence. Docket 13 at 1. Since his arrest and detainment on September 17, 2024, Mr. Combs had obeyed the court, respected those proceedings, and demonstrated model behavior at the MDC. And today, the jury ambiguously rejected the government's allegation that Mr. Combs ran a years-long criminal enterprise or engaged in sex trafficking. The court of the government case, Mr. Combs stands convicted of 2 Mann Act counts, and his sentencing exposure is substantially lower than when the government initially sought detention. The court should release Mr. Combs on proposed condition. Now, I don't know what the rest of the stuff is at. Maybe it's other things, but if y'all found the rest of the thing, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. So, y'all, that's that. So, judge is thinking that I think at 5 o'clock they're going to do a bail hearing. Bail hearing. I don't know how long will it be because it's almost 5 o'clock. So maybe I can just hold off until it and we can discuss instead of doing it in 2 parts. But if not, we can do another one. But any other thoughts? Any comments about it? Hey. I don't know. I'm just still shocked. He was still some time, but I feel like, yes, maybe they should have narrowed it down a little bit more. Maybe they should have over compact to Rico, back to Tim and Rico, and charge it better. The sex trafficking part is what I still couldn't understand. Like, I'm glad it's mostly done. I can't believe he got convicted of anything. Exactly, because the way I don't look at everybody was saying he's gonna be free. Now, keep in mind, y'all, don't try to be a Diddy. Don't try to think you're above the law. Don't try to think you can do all that stuff to women and everything and think you gonna get away with it. You don't have Diddy money or influence. So y'all better stop acting like you're willing to celebrate. You go listen. It's not means for celebration. If you support him, it's fine. But you also understand that he did some heinous stuff that was not good. It was not cool. Now, in court of law, yes, he was not guilty of the sex trafficking and racketeering. Does not mean he was not engaged in a lot of this stuff. I just hope he understand that he got off of this. I guess he can't be tried again on the racketeering. But he's still being sued for a lot of other things too, whether civil cases or other things. So the money is gonna be a hit. Whether these cases are true or not, He's still getting sued a lot. So he's still not off the hook completely yet, y'all. So y'all can celebrate. Y'all can do whatever y'all want to do and say, oh, yes, he's done because he's free. He's not completely free yet. He have a mix of, yes, he's now guilty of some things, but yes, he's guilty of things. So I just want us to keep in mind, let us be respectful for each other. I know people are women in the comment section going back and forth, back and forth. I said I'm going to say my piece in my own video and say how I feel. I feel like if you say you're guilty of prostitution, you should have got guilty of sex trafficking. And even if you don't say it's racketeering because they were weak in that case, you could still say everything else was guilty of. But they made their case. They said what they had to say, and there's nothing we can do about it. We just got to move forward from this. Let's see what if they're gonna give him bail or not. If they do give him bail, how much will it be? Because he could pay it out. He could pay it bond, whatever. He could go free and 2 sentencing, and then he could face up to maximum 20 years, and that's that. But let's not be celebrating too much. If you want to be happy for Diddy, that's fine. But please think about it. Let's think about it. I have my beliefs about things, but I also could be fair in what is being read and what's being said. So, and please don't denounce that as he just freaking it bad when people want to be on his business life. I said no, it's more than that. Because if that's the case, he should not have been beating nobody. He should not be coercing nobody. He should not be doing all that stuff. Whether in a jury don't find that, it still doesn't mean, it doesn't take away the fact that this was happening. Because it was just a sect party that he wanted to do. He could just have it, location, have people paid to come in, do what he got to do. You could go around, watch or whatever. Don't participate, don't force nobody, don't videotape, and let them go about their business. But paying people to do these acts for your own pleasure was not that. And if you feel like, oh, it's just that he should have been not guilty for all charges, but he's not. So let me see if update. We can hold off a little bit instead of waiting out. Let me see. Let me refresh this. Give a minute, y'all, because the band here is coming up. So oh yeah, so I got the second part of the letter. So maybe he's releasing it in different parts. Because let me read this while we wait for this band here. Let me read this. Judge Subramanian. Mr. Combs should be released on bail today. For months, the government repeatedly argued and announced to the world that Sean Combs was a monster who perpetrated a 20-year federal crime spree through a racketeering enterprise. It devoted enormous resources to this prosecution. Then, after almost a year in detention, Mr. Combs finally got his day in court, and the government allegations were tested before a jury of his peers. That jury heard the government evidence, including testimony for his former girlfriends. By its verdict, the jury resoundingly rejected the government depiction of Mr. Combs. The jury found him not guilty of racketeering conspiracy and not guilty of sex trafficking. It convicted him of only 2 counts, prostitution counts, which are related to transportation of adults whom the jury clearly found were consensual participants in sexual activity. These offenses are of a far less serious nature. Prostitution offenses are no longer even prosecuted in a matter of policy in the Manhattan DA's office, and the same true to of LA and of Los Angeles and many other local districts attorney offices. It should be unjust to continue detaining Mr. Combs at the MDC even one day longer, especially since, given the sentences guidelines for these prostitution offenses, he will otherwise be entitled to serve an additional time imposed at a lower security facility. We write to respond to the government argument opposing bail. Okay. So I'm just gonna let it lie out. So we are reading the bail hearing at current times instead of doing the 2 parts. Let me just let it happen, and because I don't think it will be long. I don't think it will not be long at all. So because I know it's all day, people want to go home. So let's see it. So they said 4:59 p.m. in a courtroom. Combs' lawyer Brian Stam and Jason Disquell are patting each other on the backs. Agnew video is in a holding cell with Combs. His family is in the second row of the gallery. Somebody said denied. All right. What y'all think? Y'all think he'll get out on bail bond? I know people say hope not. I don't know. I don't think it should be, but it is. I'm looking forward to see what they're gonna say and how long. Wait for Innocent Press, a reliable source, to give his updates and notes because he's dead now. So waiting for him to say what he got to say. But in the meantime, if you got anything y'all want to ask me and everything, then we can chat about it. I'm surprised it's still going this slow. Woo. I just don't even have hope for consequences for them anymore. That's what I'm saying, because it's like, because if it was any other person other than Diddy, they probably would have just get slammed. They were gonna be slammed. And I'm not the person who hate on, because at the end of the day, we all grew up listening to his music and producing his artists and everything, and I enjoyed the music and whatnot. But we cannot take away the fact that he was doing all this extra stuff too. So I don't know. It just to the point to say it is. You just gotta just deal with it. Just gotta deal with that, and I just hope that he's calmed down and relaxed. But when you got this much of power, who he knows? Who could tell? Like I said, just be respectful of each other, and at the end of the day, none of us is part of the family and anything to be going back and forth with each other. Just to start discuss and just move on. And just happen. It just understand that please don't think you can do this and you will get away with that. No. And also understand the complexity of victims and abuse. All right, come on. Innocent Chris. 506. What happening? It's stalling. Judge ain't come out yet. So 504, Combs lawyers acting video Lieutenant Sharp Hill and Lieutenant Jericho's emerged from the holding cell, still waiting for Sean Combs to be brought into the courtroom by U.S. Marshals. Hey, cause I'm glad you came through, Cola Boo. Cause I know you'll be on your live around 7. So I'm gonna be on my live at the time, but I will definitely watch your replay game. While we waiting, is any other stuff he posted? No, he ain't posted anything else. We're still waiting. They waited to bring Sean Combs out from the holding cell. So at 5:09 p.m., Sean Combs had been brought in. Sit next to Tenant Jericho's leading active video, walks over to the lectern, then back over to his seat. Prosecutors are in place in front of the table, waiting on Judge Bavarian. All right, y'all. If y'all waiting to see what's happening, just know that we waiting to see what's going on. So if y'all know why I'm sitting here, because we wait in the real time of the bear here instead of coming back and give y'all another video. I just rather just wait and give y'all all here. My next live is not till 6:30, so it should be fine. I think it'll be done by then. Oh my God, happy with these chips. I know everybody's like, "What's going on? It's weird." Yeah. I see a lot of people in the comments saying bail denied, give it bail denied. A lot of them was hoping for that. So let's see. Somebody says no reason to deny bail here. People have been confident that Diddy would be guilty yesterday. Now they quiet. I told you. But he's still guilty for 2 charges. So what you talking about? If you really want to completely free, he should be guilty, not guilty if you think he got it free. Talking about Judge over dragging stuff out. I'm starting to think he has a choice in. Oh wait, I didn't see that. Hold up. Did somebody make somebody? Oh, can I say that's not what he said? All right, he just said it. Judge, I read the party submissions to others. The jury convicted the defendant of counts 3 or 5. For the following reasons, bail is denied. They deny him bail, so he will be detained as a sentencing. Because of the 2 counts of 3 or 5, his bail has been denied. What are your thoughts? Hey, it is what it is. Now, just hopefully that these people will be safe and y'all be extra diligent because even if he's behind jail, he can still have means of opportunity. But it even showed that he got out. The judge came out. No all rise, nothing. Bail is denied. I'm shocked. Why you denied? It is what it is. Bail is denied and let it go. Y'all got half your win, meaning that he's not going to jail for a longer period of time for not for the second racketeering and sex trafficking. But at least he is still in jail for the time being until sentencing. No, you don't get to just come out. No, serve that time. And then when it comes to sentencing, maybe they would take a consideration of time served and what's the allotment time that he will be serving. So if I say, what y'all think? If his maximum years are 20 years, I would say anywhere between 10 or 20 years he would get, give or take. The judge could give him the whole 20 years, but I would say between 10 and 20 years. I don't know. Could it be less? Maybe. So any last thoughts on that, y'all? Let me see if there's any other updates. If he said anything else. If not, that's what it is. So just came in. Judge, even if he might have more to say, so we might have to wait a little bit more before he says something. Judge, even if the defendant was solely required to show that he is not a danger to the community, he could not meet that burden. Exactly. Prior to trial, the court denied bail and sees no reason to reverse that now. The defense conceded the defendant's violence. Yes, y'all say he was a violent man, but y'all said in court that he is a violent, dangerous man. We not gonna argue that. We just gonna argue that it's not racketeering or sex trafficking. We gonna argue that it's not racketeering because everybody did it in their own free will. Y'all got y'all point cause. The jury believes y'all. That's fine. But if prostitution is happening, and it doesn't take away the fact that he still might be a threat. So no. That's good at least. Exactly. All right, it's still more. I think he's still typing. So let's see what else he's saying. Judge, his violence is depicted in the video of Cassie Ventura. The defense admitted, this is terrible moment. Domestic violence is the issue. It's what she said. It wasn't only that. There was the London hotel incident. So this was the judge is saying why he denying bail. This is his reasoning. Judge, there was violence after the searches in the case. As to Jane, there was June 2024. After the searches of home residences, the evidence and disregarded for the law and a propensity for violence. I mean, it seems like the judge don't agree with the jury select the decision, but it is what it is. According to law, the jury made the decision. Because the amount of evidence, you could at least prove that it was sex trafficking happening. Unless you want to go over racketeering, at least that. So we're gonna see. He disregarded the law. It was propensity of violence. Good, good, good. So the judge said the court takes no position on what it will consider at sentencing, nor what sentencing will it impose. But here, the burden is on him, and he cannot carry it. The defense argues the guideline starts at 21 months. The U.S. says 51 months. He done 10 months. So I guess they try to take into consideration how many times he's been served in his consideration of the sentencing. Now, I know it'll be a late date. I guess he's taking that consideration what the time served was. If that's what he's saying, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. So I'm not a. expert in these things. I'm just reading and interpreting how I read it. The judge is not biased. The judge is being fair, but oh well. So the judge said, I set sentencing for Friday, October 3rd at 10 a.m. I am willing to expedite it. Comes active video, we would like it expedited. Judge, we will need an expedited pre-sentencing report for probation, but I will be available any time. So there you have it. The sentencing is set to October 3rd, but he will be in jail until that time. He's not getting out of bail. But the defendants want to be expedited, meaning they want to be quickly sentencing, so it won't last that long. It won't wait all the way to October. So we're in July right now. They want it quicker, so they need to submit something for it to be happening. I think that's it, right? I mean, I don't think he said court adjourned. Hold up. So that means he will be serving sentences for each consecutively back to back, because I don't think it's concurrent, right? No, let me see. I mean, people go interpret it how they interpret it. So the judge said, there is a great divide on the sentencing guideline. I see that Ms. Comey has her statute book open. AUSA Comey, the rule required that preparation of a report absent a reasoned waiver, probation may be able to expedite. Judge, update me by July 8th at noon. I give you real-time updates. What y'all saying? What y'all thinking? So they got provide him about the update by July 8th of the report. So the judge, and we'll hold a hearing on afternoon of July 8th. Combs acting video, Your Honor, has a lot of information from presiding over the trial. We want the sentencing as soon as possible. Other Man's Act cases, There's nothing remotely similar to this. The defendant said, listen, we want to fast. We want to fast, please. Please. The judge said, well, July 8th. We're going to enjoy our holidays and we're going to talk about it on the. So prepare your reports and we'll see about it. But right now, it's set for October 3rd. I mean, so based on the defendants, he said he got other man acts cases. So what is it? This the only one? Like, Chad, I would see an hour for happy use. Yes, I'll be on for Love Island USA review. So let me post the link up here now. So people who want to catch me on that, because I think I might get out of here because I think that's it. Let me see. Because that's something else we can talk about. Let's see. That's it. Because I do gotta go get some eat. Okay. All right. So, any other stuff that came out from this, I will just put it in the comment section down below instead of really going further. So, at the end of the day, what is staying saying that the sentencing is still set at October 3rd, but the judge is willing to really expedite it and have a hearing on July 8th to see how fast can the expedited sentencing be happening. So they'll come back with Zoom on July 8th. They give whatever their reports, and they will see. It will give an earlier time of sentencing than October 3rd, given to the serious nature of this case. That's what's being said. Okay, so hopefully I enjoy and whatnot. I see you on the next hour for Love Island, and I'll talk to you later. Peace out. All right, talk to you later. Peace.